In the final decades of the Galactic Republic, the Sith Lord Darth Sidious and the Night Sister Witch Mother Talzin formed an alliance to share wisdom and power. Her son was a Force-sensitive Dathomirian that Sidious took a liking to immediately. Talzin allowed Sidious to take her child and train him to be his new Sith apprentice Darth Maul. Toward the end of Maul's training, Sidious took him to Malachor, where many Sith had been killed by Jedi thousands of years ago. This fueled Maul's hatred of the Jedi as he breathed in the ashes of his fallen Sith brethren. Eager to reveal himself to a Jedi and kill them, Maul stalked Jedi to satisfy his need. Sidious forbade him from revealing himself as his plan was not yet ready. However, Maul was given access to a black market auction of a Jedi Padawan named Eldricatus. After revealing himself to be a Sith, Maul killed her to protect his secret. Sidious knew about what his apprentice had done, and he was happy when Maul admitted that despite already killing a Jedi, his bloodlust for the deaths of the Jedi was not yet satisfied. Soon, Sidious sent Maul to Tatooine to track down the Queen of Naboo during the Trade Federation blockade of her planet. Finally revealing himself to the Jedi, as it was now time to do so, Maul fought a Jedi Master named Qui-gon Jinn before he escaped. Later, back on Naboo, Qui-gon and his apprentice ObiWan Kenobi engaged Maul in a lightsaber duel. With Obi-Wan temporarily separated from the fight, Maul killed Qui-gon. Obi-Wan then attacked Maul, slicing his red double-bladed saber in half, and when Maul had the advantage, he underestimated Obi-Wan's powerful connection to the Force and was cut in half by the slain Jedi Master's blade. Maul ended up in a trash container after falling through the pit on Naboo. The trash container was dumped off at a planet called Lotho Minor, where the galaxy's trash was piled to its yellow skies. Maul somehow attached a spider apparatus to his lower half to help him traverse through the junk. He spent over 10 years stranded on Lotho Minor, simply fueled to go on by his hate and vengeance for Kenobi. Maul's brother Savage Opress, a Night Brother sent by Mother Talzin to find him, discovered Maul in his delusional state of mind and brought him back to Dathomir. Talzin used her magic to restore Maul's mind and used super battle droid parts to make him new legs. Savage then gave Maul his old hilt, the one that Kenobi had cut in half on Naboo, giving Maul everything he needed to get his revenge on the Jedi. With his legs and mind restored, Maul raided a village on the planet Redonia and killed innocents to lure out Kenobi. Obi-Wan took the bait, unaware of Savage's involvement, and was captured by Maul and his brother. Obi-Wan received unexpected help from Asajj Ventress, who was tracking Savage for the bounty on his head. Outmatched, Ventress helped Kenobi escape the Night Brothers. Maul and Savage killed and robbed innocents, claiming themselves to be the two true Sith Lords. He convinced pirates from Hondo's army to join him and overthrow their boss. Obi-Wan and a Jedi named Adi Gallia tracked Maul to Florum, and Adi was killed by Savage. Maul's ship was damaged in the battle, and he used the escape pod to eject themselves into space before their ship crashed. Nearing death, the two brothers floated in space in their escape pod until they were found by Pre Vizsla and his Death Watch. Realizing that they both had unfinished qualms with Kenobi, they teamed up together. Maul began to create the Shadow Collective, a crime organization that could convince the Mandalorian people to accept Pre Vizsla as their new ruler instead of the pacifist Duchess Satine. Maul and Savage killed the Black Sun leaders on Mustafar, intimidating the new leaders to join them. The Pikes, known for controlling the spice running in the galaxy, joined Maul with no problem, and the Hutts were forced to align with him when he raided Jabba's palace. The plan succeeded, and the Death Watch took over Mandalore, which gave Pre Vizsla the incentive to finally get rid of Maul. The two battled in single combat, and according to a Mandalorian law, the winner would rule their people. Maul ended up beheading Vizsla with the Mandalorian's own darksaber, and claimed the sword and title as ruler of Mandalore. A loyal member of Vizsla, Duchess Satine's sister Bo-Katan, split off from Maul's new rule, which created another Mandalorian civil war between her forces and the Mandalorians loyal to Maul's new leadership. Kenobi was warned of the Mandalore situation by Satine after she had briefly escaped. However, he had to come alone, because Mandalore was a neutral system. And unfortunately, Kenobi fell for the trap, and after briefly reaching Satine from imprisonment, they were captured by Maul and his forces. Sensing that Satine and Obi-Wan had some sort of connection, Maul stabbed and killed her in front of him so the Jedi could feel his pain. Bo-Katan later rescued Obi-Wan as Sidious paid a visit to Maul and Savage. Sidious was unhappy with Maul's intentions of overthrowing him, so he killed Savage and tortured Maul. However, he didn't kill Maul because he needed him alive in order to lure out Talzin so he could eliminate her for good. Maul was eventually freed by his loyal Mandalorians, led by Gar Saxon and Rook Kast, and fought battles with Grievous's forces and the Republic. After several chaotic events, Dooku, Palpatine, and Grievous fought Maul and Talzin on Dathomir. Since they were outnumbered, Talzin ordered Maul to run and escape before she was stabbed to death by Grievous. Sometime after the death of his mother, Maul rekindled his broken Shadow Collective and went into hiding into the Undercity of Mandalore. Toward the end of the war, he began having visions of the future. The vision gave Maul the name Anakin Skywalker, showing him that Skywalker would soon become Sidious's new apprentice after Dooku's death. He orchestrated the Mandalorian War to lure Kenobi to him, and Skywalker who traveled with him, so he could kill Skywalker and disrupt his old master's plan. He explained this to Ahsoka Tano, who was there to capture him. She didn't believe his vision, and after they dueled, Maul was captured and his forces were defeated. Locked up in an old relic of the Mandalorian Jedi Wars, Maul was put on a Republic Venator to be transported to the Jedi on Coruscant. This was when Order 66 was declared, which forced Ahsoka to break Maul out, needing a distraction for her own benefit. Without a weapon, Maul wreaked havoc on the Venator and brought down the ship generators, pulling the cruiser out of hyperspace. He had no intention of arriving on Coruscant, where he knew his old master would be waiting for him. Maul escaped in the following carnage, leaving Ahsoka behind to fend for her life on her own. 9 years after the events of Order 66, Maul was the secret leader of the most feared crime syndicate in the galaxy, Crimson Dawn. He contacted Kira, a top lieutenant in the syndicate, who had informed him of her superior Dryden Voss's death, and a man named Beckett's betrayal. He ordered Kira to meet with him on Dathomir, threatened her with the ignition of his double-bladed red lightsaber, who he had taken from an Inquisitor at some point, and warned her that they'd be working closer from then on out. Some unspecified time after Maul was the leader of Crimson Dawn, his ship crashed and he became stranded on Malachor, the same planet Sidious took him to years prior. Maul survived alone in the underground of Malachor for years until his solitude ended when Ezra Bridger, a Jedi apprentice, found him. Maul manipulated the young boy to retrieve the Sith holocron to activate the ancient weapon of the Sith Temple. Ezra, who had been traveling with Ahsoka and his master Kanan, trusted Maul and activated the weapon after working with him. Maul killed the Inquisitors and blinded Kanan when Ezra completed his plan. Maul briefly fought Ahsoka again, but was bested by a blind Kanan. However, Maul took a dead Inquisitor's TIE fighter and escaped before the temple's explosion. Since Maul had no chance of winning a fight with the Empire, he went back to focus on his mortal enemy. Maul kidnapped Ezra and Kanan's friends to bargain their lives for the Jedi and Sith holocrons. When the two holocrons eventually merged, Maul found that the person he was looking for still lived. In search of this person's location, Maul convinced Ezra to accompany him to Dathomir to recreate their Force vision that Ezra had previously cut short. After using Night Sister magic on Dathomir, the vision gave Maul the information he was looking for. He left Dathomir disappointed in Ezra, who refused to join him and went to go search for his revenge. 2 years before the Battle of Yavin, Maul traversed the desert of Tatooine, thanks to the Night Sister potion. He searched for his nemesis for an unknown period of time until he began to go insane, growing impatient in his search. Maul came up with a plan to use a piece of the Sith holocron to lure Ezra to Tatooine, thus drawing out his enemy. As usual, Ezra accepted the bait, which allowed Maul to find his old nemesis, ObiWan Kenobi. After Kenobi told Ezra to leave, Maul figured out that Kenobi wasn't simply hiding, but was stationed on the most important mission in the galaxy. The old man echoed his old master's stance, tricking Maul into attacking him with the same move that killed Qui-gon. The duel ended quickly because it had to. Kenobi confirmed Maul's suspicions that he had been protecting the Chosen One. Exactly 30 years after their duel on Naboo, Maul died in his mortal enemy's arms, vengeance the last thought on his mind. And that's all we have on Maul's timeline and the Star Wars universe so far. If you enjoy the content, drop a like and consider subscribing for more Star Wars videos every week. Thanks for watching, may the Force be with you, and I hope you all have a good one.